places where clients were not used to go in the past, but now since all this pandemic happening, I think it's the best excuse to be safe, and to be safe is to be far away from the crowded places.
So are you looking at like smaller yachts, or are they still getting bigger and bigger? Because for a while there, the trend was just to get huge. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, the
but
bigger the better.
I think that's changing because on my experience, where you cannot dock anywhere, it's difficult to get provisioning and it's difficult to get in a lot of places, you know. And I think all this fashion to be who have the biggest yacht is changing right now. The people once, as Alvaro said, and the owner of La Dacha wanted, is just to be where other boats cannot go, you know, and do other experience, have another experiences, like to be able, if you are in Kamchatka or Alaska in summertime, you know there is snow on the top of the peaks. Just go take the helicopter and go skiing downhill, and someone with the jets with the snow bike waiting for you down there, you know, or just see the wild polar bears or the whales, and just do something more familiar or more after the pandemic. You know, I presume that everyone has realize that all this show up is changing, you know, just to be with the people you want. And it's a new concept, to be honest. And I hope that it gets more popular because, come on, you own a vehicle, a vessel, a boat, to be able to go where all these places that they are on the world, the Perito Moreno, down Greenland or Antarctica. Imagine to be in Antarctica. Of course, I presume they will have to be in June, July, August, when it's less cold. But it's a wonderful idea and completely different. And the people is changing. I'm seeing that, talking with charter guests, saying this, why we don't go to this place or this volcano area or island, you know. I think on these days, the way of thinking of yachting, it will change a bit, especially for designers and to be able to create boats to not be at port for at least 3 or 4 months.
Well, how do you find it changes the designs now? Because I understand that more and more people are looking towards bringing their families on board. In the past, it wasn't necessarily the entire family. It was an individual or couples or big parties. But now they're looking to self-isolate. How does that change the way that you design a yacht overall?
Well, that's something that we will start to see over the following year by listening to the clients' demands, because they are the ones who will show us exactly what they need and the things that we need to change to fulfill their needs. Clearly, something that is going to happen is in terms of the interior, the spaces will be compromised. And let's say for Arturo, the provisions will be very important. For as long as you want to be far away, you need to be able to store all the things you will need. So that might compromise more in the interior rather than the exterior.
I saw a story the other day on social media in regards to a new boat that is being built, and it was being built made out of entirely recyclable materials.
Wow.
Now, is sustainability becoming something really big within the new yacht owners and the new builds?
Well, on my point of view, I think it's not just on yachts, in everything.
Yeah.
You know, I think there is some commitment there. We should start doing, everyone, even now in our own homes, cars, vehicles, boats, planes, whatever. You know, I think it's very interesting. We need to protect and reuse as much as we can our planet. You know what I mean? That on my point of view, when I'm doing my shopping regarding cooking for my clients, I'm trying to do everything as fair as possible. You know, I'm trying to buy meat or free-range animals and try to provide with my little ground of sand into that entire project, you know, to try to protect the earth as much as we can. We have to be sensible with what we do have and what we do. So at the end of the day, I'm very glad that some designers or companies that start doing those projects, a recycled entire boat. You know, that will be amazing now to have it with solar panels, so it doesn't need to use any fuels on it. That will be perfect.
Well, I think I saw it in about March and April, all boat sales did kind of stop there for a very short period of time. And one of the biggest pickup of boat sales or new boat buys was the catamarans that were solar powered.
No, look now, Rafa Nadal, our best Spanish representative, I presume, in the sports. He just bought a catamaran. I think the company called Reef something. I'm sure Álvaro knows better than I do. Sunreef. I don't know how exactly it goes, but it will be fantastic that boat's all full covered with solar panels and everything contaminating the less as possible, you know what I mean? But I presume one day we'll see that. I saw in Lake Como 2 years ago a Riva, a small speedboat, completely electric. And I was in there and it was fast, really fast. I don't know how many hours it will last, but it was, I know, today's with the drones and everything. I presume in one day, I hope to see that we'll see boats traveling with not too much contamination.
I think we see a lot of that actually being tested right now. So hopefully that is a sign that in the future, you know, right now, I think most clients, they have to ask for that to be done to their boat, but it would be lovely to see the shipyards and the new builds just automatically doing that without the owner having to ask. If in the new builds, are you finding because they are looking for more excursion and they are looking for longer time frames, what are you adding or what are they having to add into these boats, like hospitals or, you know, room for nurses, doctors?
Yeah, hospital, bigger facilities, bigger spaces to host all the provisions. Maybe we could even see schools in the future, as the families are going to be away for a long period of time. All the kids need to be well educated.
Well, and that goes the same as toys as well.
Yeah, I saw that in one of the vessels that you mentioned before. It's a family boat, and they have a toy room for the grandchildren, and they have a school with 6 tables for them and a blackboard on the back. No, not blackboard, it's a whiteboard, but you know what I mean. And we had a hospital area, and on this kind of big vessel over plus hundreds, there is a lot of things involved with all the service regarding, as I said, we have a nurse, because she have the accommodation close to the hospital. The hospital don't think there is a huge, but it's a room with a operatory table, with all the technologies, in case you have a problem with a tooth or something like that, and can get more serious. They have their own fridges where they have all the vaccinations and anesthesia. Well, it's quite impressive, the surrounding in the lower parts of the vessel. You know, it's incredible because everything happens on all these kind of things happens on the lower part of the vessel. And as I said, well, we got storages and things that it looks like a small mini town there. You know what I mean? It's quite impressive.
They're actually almost, I mean, at one stage, they were getting so big that they were almost mini cruise ships, really.
Yeah, there's a mini cruise ship, to be honest. It is. A plus 100 is a mini cruise ship. It's a little community there. And it's true that one thing that Álvaro said that I think is very important, and the people, they don't realize, is just to keep and design boats with more storage for provisioning as sample, because usually when an owner buys a boat, what he's looking for is for his interior design, exactly what he's looking for his clients, rooms, gym, and things like that. And they put in compromise other departments that are very important. Engine room is super important, and they need to be able to have a room with a lathe, to be able to, or a mill or a drill, to be able to produce parts in case that they cannot make it. You know, on these days, chief engineers are proper engineers. I saw them making a part on their own with raw material, because the other part was in Germany and we was in close to Qatar, and it was not time to. It's incredible. So at the end of the day, they need to realize there is a community. It's a little a mini cruise ship, and all the communities like a small village. You know, everyone we provide with. On my previous boats, we was making our own bread. We had a baker, and every morning he was wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and making the bread for the entire crew, guests, etc. And then he was going to bed, I would say about 12 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and then having his time off and coming back the next night. So at the end of the day, I don't know how many boats they have their own baker doing the bread and on the pastries for the entire crew, because at the end we was 100 crew.
Wow.
100 crew plus guests.
Wow. Let me ask, I'm going to go back to this hospital thing. Now, if they've got everything in place, how do they actually, if there's an accident on board, of course, in the case of La Dacha, for example, they've got 2 helicopters, so they can always helicopter somebody out. But if it's something simple, like, perhaps they need to remove a tooth, or it's small sutures or something, or they need, is there a way that they contact somebody to help them through whatever process?
Yeah, it is. All the crew members, especially some of them are designated with the Tempus machine. I do have my course, and I presume in La Dacha I will be or the chief officer or one of the officers, or even myself, whoever have the certification, have a Tempus machine. It's a training from the United States. That what it does is it's a box that in case you have any accident or something, immediately you just press a button, and this box have everything for diagnose the patient, and you are have a small TV screen, and you have direct connection by satellite with United States. So where you have 24/7 doctors over there, they are monitoring and seeing the patient and telling you if you have a doctor. Of course, will be the doctor involved, but you can assist them, and then you can tell them, okay, he's going too high on rate, on speed rate, or the blood. They can analyze everything. So, and it's a course that it took me a week to take. And you can do the CPR and everything, and it tells you the box communicates with you directly with the doctor, and he's telling you exactly how to proceed in that operation. Also, it's true that we have helicopters in La Dacha, and and a lot of vessels they have helicopters, but the helicopter rate for a vessel like La Dacha being in the middle of nowhere will not arrive to it. So I'm sure there will be, I know there is a proper doctor with all this with all this experience in case you have a broke leg or arm or something like that, just to be able. I know that the La Dacha have in the hospital area have a table just for surgery.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, even if you have to triage just to get them stable enough to get on a helicopter to get, to the closest hospital, there's a necessity to have that kind of knowledge.
But so sometimes with the idea of La Dacha to go in the middle of nowhere, to get there, it will be difficult with helicopters. And I presume that the doctor, the person will be in there, will be a really good professional, ready for any challenge that occurs. Fingers crossed, nothing happens.
Considering you're going to be on the boat.
Exactly.
Let me ask you, Álvaro, we were talking last week, and I was questioning you about some of these designs that come out for super yachts that are just absolutely out of this world, and there's guaranteed no possible chance that they're ever going to get built. Tell me why these designs are done.
Why? To call attention, I guess. It's important to see how our ideas get crazy. And even though they cannot be built, they're always a starting point to something crazy that will come in the future. At the end, it's all about developing ideas and just throw them away. And one of them will work. And it's a good way of marketing, of getting close to the imagination of the people in general.
Well, I saw a few boats just recently that some of them are sort of starting to do a throwback to like the 1960s and the 1950s in the design. And these boats are being built. What type of designer are you? What do you like? Do you like the classic or do you like the modern in the future?
I actually, when it comes to rebuild old boats, I'm really into it. Is one of the fields I like the most when it comes to conversion, because it's bringing back to life a boat that it was actually very well designed at the time. And in my case, I'm more contemporary. I think I will always be in the middle, not too futuristic, not too classic, but something that will last for the pass of the time.
Do you find that there is a big desire for people to take boats that are already existing and change them to make them into more like Explorer yachts rather than have a brand new build?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're actually seeing that happening in the Netherlands with project Ragnar. It's being done by Icon. And I think it's a perfect example of what a new owner can get. Instead of having to wait, let's say, between 3 and 4 years to get a new build, you can actually get an old boat and bringing it to a new life with all your desires and needs. And I think it's something that we will keep seeing in the future more and more.
I wanted to get back to you. Now, did you actually initially get into chefing as a result of wanting to get on yachts, or was it just that you like to cook?
No, well, everything came by surprise. I was head chef on a hotel here, very young, was Hotel Formentor in Mallorca, and we had a client. He was coming every night. He had a yacht like 42 meters, CD2, I think it was the name, and he came night and after night, coming to 3 nights on a row, going to the restaurant. Then he called me and he said, "Listen, my chef is very bad. Do you want to come and work for me?" And I said, "Okay, sorry, sir. I think I can talk about that here in the table." So the next morning came the captain and he asked for all my details. And 6 months later, before the season, that was in February or something like that, he contacted me and offered me the job on that vessel. So that's how I started on yachting.
Well, how did you get your education here in Mallorca then?
Yeah, I did that. I studied here in the Escuela Hostelería, in the Hotelery School, in the university. I started the first year was built with great professionals, and I was very glad that I had that opportunity. And after that, I moved on by myself, traveling. I've been working in Thailand, India, Japan, and a lot of places before I started into yachting.
So would you encourage the local kids in Mallorca and Ibiza?
Yeah, it's a must. It is a must. We have a great professional. We have great sources to do it. I think we should open our minds and start. There's a lot of opportunities over there. And I think there is a lot of future candidates that can fill all these positions, not just in cooking, in other departments. We have the perfect tools and the perfect weather and the perfect area to provide really good professionals.
Álvaro, what do you think about Mallorca? Does it have
agree.
everything that the yachting industry needs right here?
Absolutely. It's one of the places to be. It's indeed very good for the clients to enjoy the offshore. It's very good for the crew members as they have a big community, and also all the facilities we got at STP, Astilleros de Mallorca. I think it's actually a good place. I would recommend everyone to go there with their vessels, with the super yachts.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, gentlemen, very, very much for joining us on this panel today. It's been very informative and very fun, actually. I enjoyed myself and I learned a lot. Once again, Álvaro, a yacht architect, and we have Arturo, who is the chief executive chef at La Dacha, and he never brought me food. I'm very disappointed.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions whatsoever, please don't forget, you can actually ask them right underneath this as it airs. And don't forget to take a wander around the Balearic Yacht Show. There's a ton of things going on and a ton of things available. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Álvaro, and thanks, Arturo, for your amazing speech. Let me know if you have any issue with the audio. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, exactly. Álvaro, can you?
I can hear you properly.
Okay, perfect. Then right now it's going to start a round of questions. If someone has some questions, just test it in the chat or raise your hand, and I am going to mute you and give you access to talk with Álvaro and Arturo. Thank you, everyone. And I'm going to mute myself.
Oh, right, so we do that in Spanish or in English? Can I have a Spanish? Vale, perfecto. Bueno, estudié en la escuela de hostelería joven y con mucha motivación y la verdad no me esperaba llegar donde he llegado. Era el más gamberro de la escuela. Muy seguramente muchos profesores aún se acordarán de mí. Pero la verdad es que me abrieron los ojos y disfruté con lo que estuve aprendiendo. Luego, aparte de la escuela de hostelería, que es lo más importante, que es aprender a hacer un buen caldo, ser una persona organizada y limpia y tener las bases para poder empezar. Luego hay que sacarse una certificación que se llama el STC W95, que se puede sacar en varios centros de Mallorca. Solo se saca en Antibes, en Estados Unidos, en Londres y a nivel ya así charter comercial. Luego también hay otros títulos parecidos por las marinas mercantes. Bueno, pues sacas este título, son 5 días, te enseñan cómo sobrevivir cuando tiras al mar y tal. Y bueno, la cuestión es que necesitas ese título y nada, y ya un poquito de suerte de que alguien te contrate y ve tus aptitudes o entrar de segundo, bueno, normal entrar de segundo cocinero, tercero, depende el barco en el que quieras trabajar, porque hay barcos pequeños que son de 40, 60 metros, van 2 cocineros o 1, y luego hay barcos pues como los que he estado, que los llaman plus 100, que son más 100, que los cuales puede llegar a ser hasta 14 cocineros, 13 cocineros, 10 cocineros. Entonces entras y vas escalonando como un tipo de cocina normal. Bueno, espero haber contestado tu pregunta.
Arturo, esta pregunta es para ti, creo.
Belinda Dura. I am a Spanish naval architect based in Norway. I design yachts and expedition cruise vessels. I am very happy to have this event. Does anyone the name of the medical software supply they mentioned during the interview? It's called Tempus. I think it's just tempus.com. TEMPUS. It's a training that provides you. Well, I did that course like 5-6 years ago. It's a company that what it does exactly, it provides you some medical training with it's like a computer, a box, like a toolbox where we have all the information, and the brand is registered by Tempus, and it provides you with the certification. You have to do a course for 3 or 4 days, and it tells you how to assist a patient while you are far away, and is a must in every infirmary. I don't know if it's any kind of medical software. I think it's called, I remember that it's called Tempus, like the interview we do in Zoom is a platform for us to communicate. Tempus is a company who provides assisting 24 hours medical assistance in any part of the world via satellite, I think it is. And it has a high cost. I remember that. I hope that answers your question.
I think this one is for me. What was the first type of yacht that you ever designed? Well, the first one I did, it was a performance motor yacht of 29 meters, and it was done for my master thesis in Venice. That was actually my very first one. It was a very Wally style. That was the biggest inspiration I had back then. And the other question, what was the one that made you? And the project that actually made me a finalist for the Young Designer of the Year, it was a conversion from a 50-meter fishing vessel, and we got all the demands from the organization, and we transformed that fishing vessel into a luxury explorer. That's the one. It's called Project Mabul. How does the design process work when you're working with a new client? It all starts by his demands. we should go through a big list of things that they're looking for, such as length, the kind of sailing experience they want to have, motor, sailing, and from that it just it's a blank sheet of paper, and it's all about fulfilling all their needs.
I think the next one is for me, ¿no? O en Spanish. Ok. A ver si la recuerdo que se está moviendo. Arturo, has trabajado en la industria turística y en la náutica. ¿Con cuál te quedas? En Baleares casi todas las personas buscan salidas profesionales en turismo. ¿Recomiendas mirar otras opciones? Bueno, ¿qué os voy a contar? ¿Qué os voy a contar con la situación actual que tenemos con el COVID? Bueno, resulta que ¿con cuál me quedaría? Me quedaría con la turística balear, ¿vale? Me gustaría quedarme con la turística balear porque tenemos unas islas que son fantásticas y tenemos unas herramientas, como he dicho antes en la entrevista, muy buenas para aquellos que se dediquen a, por ejemplo, en mi departamento, que es mi pasión, que es la cocina. Tenemos unas herramientas fantásticas que hay que pulir un poco. Estoy con la Cámara de Comercio, que el otro día hablamos por encima un poco para ver si podemos hacer algún tipo de máster junto con la Escuela de Hostelería para iniciar a los chicos que puedan desarrollar ese mundo que yo no he descubierto, pero estaba ahí y entré por la puerta, como por la puerta falsa, y la verdad que da muchas oportunidades. Claro, pero el poder estar en casa con tu familia cada día, pues eso es un sacrificio que hay que hacer, ¿no? Tener en cuenta que somos cocineros y podemos ser cocineros tanto en los barcos como en la luna, en una base espacial o donde queráis, pero claro, no estamos en casa ni dormimos en casa. O sea, ahora se ha implantado el tema de rotación, que es un sistema que, bueno, lleva años, sobre todo con los capitanes y con los oficiales, que ahora los jefes de cocina, pues yo, por ejemplo, ahora me marcho 3 meses y trabajo 3 meses, descanso 3, libro 3. Claro, entonces tengo trabajo medio año, en el cual facturo todo el año, pero claro, es una fórmula de decir, pues por cada día que trabajas te dan un día libre. ¿Recomiendo mirar otras opciones? Existen esas opciones y son aventuras y son experiencias muy positivas. Tener en cuenta que un cocinero hoy en día normalmente trabaja con unos candallos, con unos costes, con unos productos de la zona, con una carta de temporada. Vas a hacer lo mismo, pero por todo el mundo. Por todo el mundo, con diferentes productos, seguirás con escandallos y con costes, pero unos costes mucho más elevados y con unos productos fantásticos y en vez de tener que preparar una mise en place para 80 clientes, 40, 60 o 100 o 200, estás cocinando para la media que suelen ser 12. Y cada día preparas cosas diferentes y además tu propia cocina es tu propio laboratorio. O sea, yo creo que si una persona está motivada y quiere desarrollar, conocer otras culturas, porque estás conviviendo con gente de otras nacionalidades, que a la hora de alimentar la tripulación, pues tienes nepalíes, hindús, o americanos, australianos, sudafricanos. Bueno, pues vas conociendo y vas interactuando tu profesión de una manera, pues, enorme, vamos. Yo recomendaría, volvería a hacer lo que he hecho. Me ha costado un divorcio, pero bueno, es lo que tiene. Y claro, en Mallorca, pues sería fantástico pues que la pandemia esta que nos ha tocado vivir, pues no hubiese ocurrido, ha hecho mucho daño y ahora mismo pues es verdad que yo recomiendo mirar otras opciones. Vamos, el mundo de la náutica, de los yates, pues está creciendo una barbaridad. Y yo, la verdad, es que sí, recomiendo mirar otras opciones, no descartando lo que hay, porque hasta que no se arregle todo esto, pues hay que mirar hacia el futuro. Bueno, espero haber contestado vuestra pregunta. Pep.
Any design trends you're seeing across the board post-pandemic? We're currently working on it. What you can see from big shipyards, what they're talking about, is that they're seeing a bigger demand on explorer vessels, which is that's something good, because we would like to see projects that will explore more the world. Something else, not in my case, but I've heard how clients are asking for more isolated spaces on board, for example, not to be in touch with more people rather than with their own selves. And that's pretty much what I know for the moment. Sorry, I don't have more trends at the moment to talk about.
Bueno, creo que esta es para mí, ¿no, Álvaro? Como
Sí.
alumnos de la Escuela de Hostelería y teniendo interés por incorporarme a este mercado laboral, ¿cuál es el camino que me recomendáis seguir una vez finalizada mi formación? Bueno, lo hemos comentado antes, lo he dicho en inglés, pero lo repetiré en breve. Bueno, lo importante es que una vez que tengas el certificado, es sacarte el STC W95, que es un curso tipo salvamento marítimo, etcétera, y dura 5 días. En Palma de Mallorca hay varias empresas que lo hacen. Y bueno, la cuestión es sacarse el título y salir al mercado laboral. Hay agencias de empresas de cocineros en Internet, basadas en Mallorca y por todo el mundo, en las cuales se llaman crew agencies y podéis entrar allí y buscar trabajo. De todos modos, yo creo que no convendría hacer un pequeño, hay algunas empresas, vamos a intentar, como he dicho, junto con la Cámara de Comercio y la Escuela de Hostelería, a ver si llegamos a un acuerdo y podemos crear una especie de máster de unos 15 días o algo así para daros un poquito una explicación, porque no solo aparte cocinar, sino también es saber lo que te vas a encontrar, no quedarte en alta mar sin género, si hay unos motores que se rompen, como me ha pasado hace 14 años cruzando un barco desde Islas Canarias hasta el Caribe, hasta San Martín especialmente, y quedarnos enganchados con una red atunera, no puedo quitar la red, ir con un motor a 4 nudos y en medio del Atlántico. Claro, entonces ahí te asustas y dices, ostras, que tengo 20 de tripulación y todos tomen como leones. Pues entonces, eso. Yo creo que tendrías que primero sacarte la titulación STC W95 y meterte en las agencias. Espero haber contestado tu pregunta. Creo que hay otra. Arturo, what are the issues regards to the way the galley was designed in the past and was it is user friendly? Bueno, what was the make the galley? Well, the galley in the old times, it was, for me, it was a galley. Was a little bit poor. Now, I think now I'm glad to say that all the galleys that we have, galley is kitchen for those people that don't know what it is. Galley on a vessel is called galley, what it means kitchen, okay? The kitchen is right now is a Ferrari for all of us. I feel like every kitchen that I've been designing, helping to design and working on it, have the latest materials, the latest ovens and everything. We have compactors machine where we can compact all the trash. We can recycle a lot of everything. It goes recycled paper, vegetables. It's a new world. It's like a Michelin star kitchen, the way we doing it. Okay. Are you seeing client requests for technical professional studio? Esto es para ti, Álvaro.
Yeah, I know this one is a more technical question that it belongs to someone else in the industry, but not to the designers. But yes, I've heard about it, and I know some clients are actually looking for it. I'm sure someone else in the other conferences will be able to talk about it and explain it better. But this is too technical for me. And then Arturo, we have this comment for you.
¿Qué dice?
Oh, you can read it.
Ah, sí, vale. Sí, ya, vale. La Escuela de Hostelería. Es un placer para mí. Vamos, fue mis comienzos. Es como mi cuna, la Escuela de Hostelería. Qué recuerdos. Qué gratos recuerdos.
And then this one is for me. What kind of designs do you envision yacht owners of the future will want to see? I believe something that will give the impression of always being eco-friendly, something that will interact with the environment, not too heavy to the eyes, something clean. That's at least what I'm going to push for. So I think clients will be the one telling us what they want also in the future. because we do what they want and we create them, but they give us their opinion of what they want to see by the sea. So I'm excited because this is something we will keep seeing year by year, how it changes. And the design will move on also with them. I don't know if that answered properly your question.
Sí, parece que lo has hecho bien. Parece que lo has hecho bien.
Okay, then thank you everyone. I
Thank
think
you.
we almost hit half the break time, so that is an amazing participation for all of you. If you don't have any more questions, I think we are gonna finish it here today. Thank you everyone to Álvaro and Arturo. I don't know if you want to say something.
Yeah, well, I want to say thank you to everyone just for assisting, and please, I think there is a little bit of work to do in what is my department, the kitchen, and I would like to see more people coming out of the Escuela de Hotelería, participating and coming to see them around the world. I would say that also in Spanish. Muchas gracias a todos por asistir, especialmente a la Cámara de Comercio y al Balearic Yacht Show y a la Escuela de Hostelería por haberme dado la oportunidad, especialmente la última, por llegar a donde estoy. Me gustaría ver más competencia en el mercado náutico, compañeros míos por ahí, me gustaría ver más españoles por el mundo, y animar a todos los chicos a que tiren para adelante, que hay un mercado fantástico, económicamente muy jugoso y con unas experiencias inolvidables. Un saludo, gracias a todos. Álvaro, un abrazo.
No, just thank you everyone for taking your time to listen to us. Muchísimas gracias a todos y espero que disfrutéis del resto del Yacht Show.